So the more that the Jews uh, listen to the good news, the better. It's way better. But I know that Jews in Israel are known to be censored. They're known to be controlled. Um, they're not allowed to hear about Jesus unless the Rabbi Loto Bralsinger um, is blaspheming Jesus Christ in the New Testament. That's the only way they can listen to it, is if they're trashing the New Testament. And me, I'm connecting the New Testament to the Old Testament, and God is doing it because it connects to His Bible. The Tanakh connects to the New Testament. The New Testament connects to the Tanakh Old Testament, and that's how God designed His Word to be, for Israel to be, because He does love Israel. But only those who receive the gospel good news of the New Testament, New Covenant, are Israel. Everyone who has not yet received it and believed it into their heart and soul, mind and soul, they're not grafted into the tree yet. So, we are the tree. There's our Sukkot Yeshuot. There's our little tabernacle, double doors. There's our little house in God. There's our little Sukkot Yeshuot. Ben Dam Shom Rabbi Allah. And Assalamu alaikum, Barakah Yom Shom Muslim, and Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses coming out of that. Ma'or Ma'onas, Yahweh's Adas, Edim, Ben Adam Shom Beha Elohim, and Ke'et Eloheka, Katonim, Chodeshim, and Yeledim. And for all the newcomers and all the faith of Catholic Church coming into eternity with your God who reigns, the river flows. You're in the house of God, and your God is in your soul, and your soul's in God, and it's a two-way street. It's a two-way. So and that covenant box over there, it's not a covenant box really. It's just a it's not being used, as you can see. I found it. I told you. It's at my house, and we're not using it. It's right there. Okay? And, and God bless Israel. And the more that Israel hears the good news, that's way better, because it's nothing but good news. As many Jews know, even some half Jews know. People are like half black and half Jewish, or however you want to call it. It don't bother me if you call yourself full Jewish. But there are people who are half Jewish, even, that they know that the New Testament says God will save Israel. Yeah, but you gotta get saved and confess at some point in time. At some point in time, you gotta bow down and confess Moshiach. You don't want to be left behind in the Great Tribulation, plagues, to be forced into that by God. It's better to be an obedient son rather than to be a disobedient son and not obeying God. Oh, high doses. And me ere dulce. Aquí mariachi, mis amores dulces, quiere Espíritu Santo, bebé. So here's another revelation to you guys. The Baphomet Freemasons actually worship the fallen angel. They don't really worship Michael, the archangel of heaven. They're actually worshiping Satan, Lucifer, the fallen angel. So they're just basically tricking you. They're tricking you. They're tricking the people. They're tricking the people, saying that he's an angel of God, but really they're Satanists, and they're worshiping Lucifer, Satan together. Okay, so that's a revelation, the true revelation of what they're doing. They're not really claiming to be Michael the Archangel. Yes, they are, but so that they can lead you to the fallen angel, Lucifer. and Satan, who's no longer Lucifer. That's what they're doing. They're misleading you to a false Michael the Archangel, then they lead you to Lucifer, into a satanic covenant, which don't exist no more, is broken for us, God's people. And God bless Israel, Muslim. Ma'od ma'onaz Yahweh's adas edim ben adam shul Mashiach beha Elohim ke'et Elohei ka Elohai malak katonim chodeshim emonim. Amen. That's what they do. As Apostle Paul stated in his letters, 2 Corinthians 11, that, I will get to John 11, it just points out that Jesus Christ didn't know Lazarus was sick and dying. And he said, I'll still read it real quick. Jesus, they came and told him he was sick. Lazarus, whom he loved, was sick and dying. He says, so they had to tell him he was sick and dying, or he was sick. He said his sickness will not end in death, but then he died. And then when Jesus saw her weeping, the Jews had come with her also weeping. He was deeply moved in spirit. And then, where have you put him? He asked. And come and see. Jesus wept. So you don't see the disciples saying, but you're God, you should know where he's at. But you're God, you should know where he's at. But you're God, you should know he's gonna die. But you're God, you should do this, and you should know where he's at. They didn't say that to Jesus. You just follow the order of things and trust the Spirit of God and keep preaching. But I'm not God. Why would I know everything? I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. Why would I know everything? So Jesus was in this order. Then it's good to be in this order. In Jesus' humanity. In Jesus in a man body. The Savior of mankind. Okay, so yeah, we could take that word back. Humanity. We could take that word back and use any word we want to. And so Jesus Christ, in his man fleshly earth body, I'd rather be like this and not question God. I don't question God, I just follow him. Only twice, probably twice I questioned God, and I did question him to answer. He answered me. When I asked question why, he told me, he showed me why. When I asked God, what should I preach? He showed me what to preach. When I prayed and fasted and cried to God on his throne, and I said, show me, reveal heaven to me, heavenly things, please God. I'm at a dead end in the English Bible, and I started opening up the scriptures here. I started here in INT, and then I went to the Hebrew, Greek, and opened that, and then I got to open the numbers, the concordance numbers, and then from there I started prophesying right away what God was saying and doing. And what happened was I even prophesied quarantine. By doing that, I even prophesied quarantine months before it happened. And I prophesied it. And it started like March 15th or something. Quarantine started something like March 15th, 2020. And I was here in August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Like 6-7 months before quarantine, I did this quarantine verse, and no one else did quarantine verse. There might have been people. Yeah, I know there was a lot of people prophesying a fallout or some kind of virus and things. I'm not going to get into who they are and what they said. But I'm just saying how I did it. I did it by calling out to God, cried out to God. I didn't cry out to the false gods because they don't know nothing. They all copy me, so why would I? God has the answers. The answers are in the Bible. Okay? If we follow the Bible, we can see answers. John 11. That Jesus wept. He didn't know he was sick. He did prophesy it will not be death forever. He said, and he prophesies that. Then he asked, where is he? So, and then also Matthew 24, out of Matthew 24, he says that the Son of Man do not know. He also prophesied false Jesuses. He told us there'd be the Roman eagle in Israel, and specifically Jerusalem, holy city. He prophesied that. He said they're going to come and say Jesus Christ is over here and over there. He prophesied false Christ, and that's what the police department's doing and the fire department's doing, false Christ. He prophesied the Roman eagle, the false Christ, the Antichrist, false signs and false wonders of those trying to copycat my prophecies and do my work and steal my rewards. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because I already did it, for one. And God's not deaf, dumb, or blind. You can't. God knows who his people are. He knows. We did that video. He knows the numbers of hairs on your head. God knows the numbers of hairs in your body. God knows everything about us. God knows Judas. God knows Goliath. God knows Moab. God knows the beast, harlot of Rome. God knows everybody. God knows everything. God is omniscient, all-knowing, all his enemies. God knows every antichrist there ever was. He knows about it. You can't fool God. Okay. Okay. Verse concerning the day, about the day and hour, no human knows, or the angels in heaven, nor God the Son in the earth, because he would have said, and it would have messed up everything, and people would have been taking advantage of God's timing. So he did it in a way where Jesus Christ on earth didn't know everything. In his body, in his earthly flesh, he didn't know everything. So if Jesus Christ did not know a few things, like the second coming of Christ, God, or Lazarus, where he was, and if there was a couple things Jesus Christ didn't know in his flesh, he's God. There's nobody on earth that's going to know everything. It's just an attack from the Satanists who are worshiping Satan, and they want to drag you guys and pull you into false gods. They want to corral you to Michael, the false angel who worships Lucifer, who's not Lucifer, he's really Satan. They want to corral the world back to Satan. Every way they point you leads back to pigs everywhere. Name one person that's Jesus Christ. No, he's not Jesus. You're going to hell. And who put him there? Freemasons, piggles. So it all points to Rome. All roads of the beast lead to Rome. There's only one way to heaven, Jesus Christ. There's only one way. That's what we're doing. We're doing the new covenant as apostle, as a disciple, as a adorable, wonderful, noble, enduring person of their torture. The Christians, the Christians, the Asian Christians are being tortured by pork chop. Putin is torturing Christians in Ukraine. It's documented. You know, as Christians are known to be persecuted and killed, they're known. They're easy targets. The Bible even says they're like lambs for the slaughter because evil people hate them. And the others who don't hate Christians probably were Christians, but they force everyone to kill each other. Like the movie Saw, like any horror movie like Saw, where you gotta pick one, or is a boy gonna save his girlfriend or save himself? You know, that's stupid. That's really stupid because that's really out of whack. It's really out of whack because I'm a born again Pentecostal spirit filled Christian preaching the gospel with Moptia keys, setting people free, putting them in the covenant, new everlasting covenant, and I don't need to, and nor can I go and save someone. They'll come and get her. Like if I go and save a girl and she says she's being raped, okay, come to my house, but they can get into my house when I'm asleep. The police departments, the LA, the California, all the Freemasons in California and United States, they just use energy or something like that to do things while you're sleeping. Whatever it is they do, they can do it anywhere. Or they're gonna come. If I bring a girl, for example, if I save a girl that's being raped and tortured and keep her here at my house, the police are gonna come arrest me and say I kidnapped her. Her mother's looking for her. Her family, let's say her family was in on it too. All my family's Jesuit, Catholics, and Freemasons, and Satanists, and they're with Peter and Michael and the police department, and they're raping me and torturing me, and they're trying to keep me stuck in Satanism. Adam, help me. And I bring her to my house. They're going to arrest me, say she's missing, I kidnapped her, and they're going to do all this stuff. I'm not scared of that, but I'm saying that's what would happen. So that's what they do. They will say, oh, so-and-so, if I go get my daughter or something like that, oh, this crazy person, he's trying to kidnap his own daughter. That's what they put on the TV. The parents are kidnapping their own kids and things like that. How can that be? How can you kidnap your own kid? It's because the beast wants to control everybody. That's why. Okay. So that's what they're doing, is they're always attacking Christianity, saying Adam should be God. Adam should know everything. That's impossible. I'm not God, and Jesus didn't know everything in his humanity, in his flesh, in his body. He didn't know everything. It was forbidden for him to know everything because he would have said. And things had to be what it is. So, for example, when I don't claim to know everything, I can go to John 11 and read a true story of Jesus Christ where he didn't know everything. I can go to Matthew 24:36 and show you that he didn't know everything about the second coming. So the Bible defends us not knowing everything. Get it? Are Christians, specifically prophets, supposed to know everything like God? No. You're not supposed to know everything. It has to be revealed, and it has to be revealed in the right time. There's timing for everything. So what's the timing in this? Out of Matthew 24:36 and John 11, a sermon. It brings a sermon forth to the people, and we produce sermon after sermon after sermon that is factual, documented, godly, and biblical. And whoever fights against this story is Antichrist and going to hell.